Welcome to Mom Talk, the talk show for mom. I'm Genevieve Kyle-Lefebvre and I will be your host. Today we're talking about the importance of following through the rules and boundaries in your families without being afraid of breaking the connection with your child, which we talk about connection so often and how important it is. So I think it's going to be an amazing episode. I have with me today Sonja Braig. Welcome, Sonja.
Thank you.
So today, first question is why family rules are so important.
So if we think about young children, we have them for about 18, 20, I guess some have them for 20, 30 years, but we have a few years with them, and we want to prepare them to be able to go out into the world and have a job and to have successful relationships. And part of that, the first beginnings of that socialization happens in the family. So rules are an important part of that, and learning to tolerate the no and the disappointment that comes when you can't do what you want. So it's an important skill that we're teaching our children when the family does have rules.
Okay, so what happens if we bend those rules too often?
There's two sides to that. So sometimes we want to bend them a little bit to show our child flexibility. Flexibility is also important, but there are some non-negotiables. We would never allow our child to unbuckle their car seat. Never.
Good example.
And that is never anything that's negotiable. I don't know any child that just unbuckles the seatbelt, although they probably could with their little hands. So there are some rules like that, and that is hitting siblings, throwing things that hurt ourselves and others. Those are kind of the non-negotiables that are really important, and not being afraid of that, because when we say no to a child, even if there's upset and there is disappointment, we pick up the child on the other end and say, I know it's hard when you can't do what you want to do. And that is where the soothing connection part comes in, while at the same time holding that no.
Okay, so how can we implement those rules and those boundaries while preserving the connection with our child, the bond?
So the nice thing about attachment, and I know there's a lot of talk out in the media about attachment parenting, is that attachment is not easily breakable. And it is cyclical. There's sometimes where you're going to feel very attached to your child at night when you're putting them to bed, that closeness feeling that you have. There's other times where you feel oceans apart, but it is not meant to always need to be that close, because children are connected. We are their caregivers, and they rest in that attachment. So not being afraid when we say no, it actually strengthens that bond in that relationship, because a child knows that those rules that you are giving them are there to keep them safe and for their own good. They may not understand that, but it actually strengthens the relationship because they feel safe by having consistent rules and boundaries for them.
Okay, so now is there a healthy way or a good way to set up some rules and boundaries in their families? I'm sure it's going to depend on the children's ages,
of course.
But you know.
Of course. So one really important, no matter what you implement, is that you're implementing it calmly, consistently, and we want to stay away from criticism. So things like, I can't believe you keep doing this. What is wrong with you? Things I've told you so many times. Why can't you just remember? Those are things that doesn't make a child feel good. It doesn't make us feel good. Those are the things that we tend to think about at the end of the day, thinking, oh, maybe I wasn't a good parent because I said that. And just staying away from things that criticize a child. If you can do that, you are already, I think we've talked about this before, you only need to be a good parent 30% of the time, and you're doing fine. So if there's one thing that you can take away from this, it is to stay away from that, and to praise a child when they're complying, even though you didn't ask them to. So if they take their plate out, if they do something, to really recognize that, to say, I really like how you're being a good helper for me.
Mm-hmm. Sonja, I have a little tip for you.
Yes.
That I use in my family.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can use it, or maybe everybody
Yes.
who's listening to us can use it. Is when even with my husband. Mm-hmm. So when someone would leave, let's say, the plates there, I was like, don't worry, I'll help you with this. I will put it in the dishwasher for you. I will help you with this. So I said that for a few days. No, don't worry, I'll help you with this. I didn't expect anything. I wasn't mad about it. And then after, I would say almost a week, all of a sudden, my child, oh, don't worry, mommy, I will help you with this. And I'm like, worked.
Well
So I'm
done.
just saying, like, sometimes you have to give a little bit, right? You do it, and then it worked. I mean, in my family, I know everybody's different, right? But I thought I'd try, and
great.
yeah, that was
Very,
something
very
that
well
worked
done.
in my
I like
family.
that. I'm going to
right?
use that. That's really good.
Yeah, it was just like, I will help you.
Yeah, and you're modeling, you're showing, and a child, this is so nice about, especially young children, they want to please, they want to be recognized for good behavior. So you are giving an opportunity to also for them be the helper and help you carry that dish out.
Okay, Sonja, my last question for you today. What do we do if we criticize our child and now we want to repair this attachment?
You always have the next day. I say that to all the parents. There's always the next day. And what we were talking about before, how the child, you have an attachment to your child. This is not something that will just rupture and completely fall apart. So there's not so much as repairing as reconnection, to feel connected again to a child. Always better to connect with a child before we correct. Child's more likely to listen when they feel attached to us. And you have many, many moments in the day when you're just putting away your phone, not attending to anything else, and just sitting on the floor with your child and playing and watching them play and letting them lead the play. Let them be the boss. Let them, and then playing with them, they feel all that lovely attention, which they want so much during the rest of the day. Give them that right in the morning. Fill them up with all that attention and love and reconnection, and you're good to go, especially with small children.
Yeah. Sonja, thank you so much
Thank you.
for another beautiful interview. Where can we find you, Sonja?
Brightstartcounselling.com.
To contact us or to view all our available episodes, please visit mom-talk.ca. Also, we are on YouTube at Mom Talk, and also under the YouTube channel Tri-Cities Community Television. And also on all the podcast platform, you can look for Mom Talk. If you're an expert, please contact us. We want to hear from you. Mom Talk would like to thank you, Tri-City Television, Community Television, and also TELUS Optic TV, and our community sponsor, La Société Francophone de Maillardville. Sometime we have some French episode for you. So if you're a mom, please share this episode with her if you think it's going to help her. Always remember, it's important to laugh, keep learning, cherish your village, and be true to yourself. I'm Genevieve Carve-Lefebvre, and thank you for joining us. Bye. Visit us at mom-talk.ca to access our podcast library and stay up to date with our latest content. Follow us on social media for more tips, hacks, and inspiration. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey of motherhood.